Hello, math students. Today we are going to be doing lesson 4-3, and your learning target is going to be I can graph linear non-proportional relationships using slope and y-intercept. So I can graph linear non-proportional relationships using slope and y-intercept. So we have been using this equation y equals mx plus b. And in here, this m stands for slope. And we know that slope is a ratio of rise over run. And b stands for the y-intercept, and this is where the line crosses the y-axis. So line will cross the y-axis at this point. And remember, if you're going to graph something on the y-axis, this point right here, that first number is always going to be 0. So they call it 0, comma, b. Okay, so if I give you an equation, something like this, y equals 2x minus 7. I am telling you what the slope is, and I am telling you what the y-intercept is. So in this particular case, the y-intercept, where this line is going to cross the y-axis, is at -7. So I can very quickly go to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, -7, and put a dot, because I know that if that y-intercept is at -7, I have the ordered pair 0, -7, so I can just graph that, 0, -7. Then this is telling me that my slope is 2. Now remember, slope is the ratio of rise over run. So if this slope is 2, what number can I put underneath 1 to help me with my ratio of rise and run without changing the value? And that's a 1. So I can rise 2 and run 1. So I'm going to go up 2, right 1, up 2, right 1, up 2, right 1, up 2, right 1. And you see there's a pattern forming, and that's why this becomes a constant rate of change. And it's going through that point 0, -7. It is non-proportional, because remember, if it was proportional, it would be going through the origin. So this is a non-proportional. Okay, so that's basically what we're going to be doing today. Taking this equation, y equals mxb, pulling off your slope and your y-intercept, and graphing. All right, let's see if we can try a problem here. So here we have y equals mx plus b. Y equals mx plus b. So what are they saying here is my y-intercept. So they're telling us that our y-intercept is at -5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and put a dot. So we're at -5. Then we are going to use our slope to find the ratio of rise over run. So this is 2, and remember we can put a 1 underneath it. So I'm going to go up 2, right 1. So here's my box, that unit box that you can make. So up 2, right 1. Again, here's the box, up 2, right 1. And we'd want to just have enough dots here that we can connect to get an accurate. And notice I put arrows on the ends of my lines because this pattern can continue on forever. So that's what my line looks like. And it is non-proportional because it does not go through the origin. All right, here's another one. Now, I don't particularly like the way they wrote this fraction, so when I write it later, I might write it a little bit different of a way to keep track of this. All right, so I'm going to do the same thing. Y equals mx plus b. So first, so if you need help with graphing, first you're going to graph a point. Okay, we need a starting point. So we're going to graph a point. And in this particular case, we are going to graph the y-intercept first. Okay, the y-intercept is a point, so we need a starting point. So I'm going to start at the y-intercept, and they tell us here that my y-intercept is 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and I can put a dot. So that's where I'm going to start. The second thing that we're going to do is you're going to use slope to find more points. So use slope to find more points. And we're going to do that by using that ratio of rise over run. So here, our slope is m. This is your slope. And we're going to write that as our ratio of rise over run. So I have -1 over 3. And so instead of writing it kind of like horizontally like they did, it's just easier to write a top and a bottom. So there are two ways to do this. One way is that this says a -1. So this means I am going to go down 1 because negative kind of makes me think of going down 1. But now this thing right here, this 3, is going to make me go right because it is a positive 3. So 1, 2, 3. And I continue that pattern. Down 1, right 3. And it's helpful if you guys will write the words down and right. Now, when I learned this many years ago, my teacher always had me go up, no matter what the number was. If it was positive or negative, I always went up whatever's on top. And then on the bottom, I either went left or right, depending on if it was a positive or negative number. Now, because this is a -1/3, I would go up and left. So I'm going to do that way. So I'm going to go up 1 and then left 1, 2, 3. Up 1 and left 2, 3. Now, are the two dots that I just did in the same line as the other dots that I did first? So really, it just matters however you need to do this. If you see a -1, then you go down. And if you see a positive 3, that means go right. Okay, my brain, I just always go up whatever's on top. So I'd go up 1. And now I either go left or right, depending on if the number's positive or negative. So since this is a negative, and I'm going to go left 3. So either way, and you have to be able to go both directions. You have to know the opposites because sometimes you run out of room on a graph, and then you don't have a choice. So if the y-intercept is up here, you can't go up 3 and over 2. You'd have to know to go down 3 and over 2 is the same pattern. So you do sometimes have to know both ways. All right, let's go on to the next sample problem here. In here, we have a chart. So this is what we were working on in the previous lesson in 4.1 and 4.2. Can you fill in a chart? If you have an equation, can you fill in the chart? So remember what they want us to do is replace that x value. So I have -1/2, and I'm going to replace that x value every time. So the first one wants me to put in a -4. So -1/2 times -4 is a positive 2, minus 3 is a -1. So we get a -1 here. Then they want me to do this problem again, but this time they want me to put in a -2. So I have 1 -1/2 times -2 minus 3. So -1/2 times a -2 is a positive 1 minus 3. 1 minus 3 is a -2. All right, the next one they want us to put in a 0. So what's 1/2 of 0? That's just 0 minus 3. So we get a -3. Now some of you might see this pattern that's developing here. So if I do -1/2, whoops, it didn't change colors. -1/2 times 2 minus 3. So I have -1 minus 3 is a -4. So it's going -1, -2, -3, -4. That next number here would be a -5. Now we can just go graph them. Using those ordered pairs, we can graph -4, 1, 2, 3, 4, -1. Remember, we always go x and then y. So the next one is -2, -2. And the next one's 0, -3. Then we have 2, -4. And then the last one that they have here, whoops, too far, is 4, -5. All right, and if we connect those, they make a nice constant straight line. So the constant here is your slope of -1/2. Now, we just learned a new method. Could we have done that new method here? So doing that new method, could we have done this? And let me just pick a highlighter here, and let's just do the pink one so it's a little bit thicker. So could I have done this so that my y-intercept is a -3? 1, 2, 3. Look at that. It's right at the same point, -3. And then my slope is -1/2. So can I go up 1 and left 2? Up 1, left 2. We're right on that point. Up 1, left 2. Right on that point. Or if you'd like to do it, go down 1 and right 2. Are all of those points lining up in the exact same place? So do I get the exact same line? So you can see, you can either use the equation and using slope and y-intercept, or you can use the graph. All right, I would like for you guys to go into your book now to this next page here, and this is page 108, and I'd like for you to stop this video. So stop the video and you go ahead and do these two problems. This is your check to see that you know what you are doing. So please stop this video and then go ahead and do these two and then come back and finish it up. All right, you should be back after trying these. Okay, so we have to first start by graphing a point. So we need to graph a point. So I'm going to graph my y-intercept, which is a +1. And then I'm going to use my slope as rise over run. So I'm going to go up 1, right 2, up 1, right 2. Now remember, I can go down and left to get more points, and then we connect them and put your arrows on the end. All right, question number 3. This y-intercept, so the first thing you always have to do is graph your point, and the second thing you're going to do is you're going to use slope to find more points. All right, and number 3 here that you guys just tried, that y-intercept is a +4. So go to your dot at 4, and now the slope is -3. And remember, we can put a 1 underneath that. Now, I personally like to go up 3, 1, 2, 3, and because this is negative, I'm going to go left 1. But you see how that brings me off the chart? So I need to be able to go both directions. So because this is a -3, can't I go down 1, 2, 3, and the bottom number is positive, so I can go right 1. Down 3, 1, 2, 3, right 1, and I can connect these 3, putting arrows on the end because this line will go on forever. All right, you should be ready for your homework now. And your homework is going to be a worksheet. You should be able to find that into your folder. And I'd like for you to do some graphing. So do numbers 1 through 6. Good luck on your homework.